Hi guys, have you precariously stacked upon books and a half-gallon mason jar, and currently you are aimed through the hole in a cutting board? Okay, so this video is to show how I deal with my receipts. This is my grocery shopping wallet. So when I go grocery shopping, it's always with me. I leave the receipt in my wallet until I'm ready to deal with it. So I went shopping at a couple places on that day. So put my cash back in here. So we've got 3 receipts to deal with. So there's that. I also got fuel. So here's my fuel receipt. And I also bought some hard apple cider in a growler. They don't give you a receipt, they send you an email. So here's my faux receipt. So I made it myself. Isn't it cute? I'm so crafty. Just a piece of scratch paper ripped off the bottom of a paper I was gonna throw away. So here's my receipts, and then what I normally do, it's not where that clip goes. What I normally do is at the end of the day, I just throw them in here. This is mostly just my budgeting. You probably have seen this. This is mostly just budgeting, where I keep track of the money that my budget is supposed to do and the days that it's supposed to do its thing. So normally I will just throw my receipts in here, and then since today is Sunday, today is the day that I deal with all of this information. Okay, I'm gonna scoot you guys back just a tad. All right. Can you see? Okay, yeah, you guys can see the bottom. So what I end up doing is I go 1 receipt at a time. So on the 28th, I write down Growler Pub. And that was $13.20. Also on that day, I got fuel. That was $46.89. Okay. Next one, by Mart. This was on a Friday. Here we go. 27th. So on the 27th, I write by Mart, where I got stuff. I also will, sometimes I'll write a note. This one is, I got the color catching cloths and the hand mixer. So this was not groceries. This was basically allowance. This one is personal. This one's, I'll call that one personal too. So we'll call this personal, so I know where this money should have come from, and that is $13.98. Okay. Next receipt is grocery outlet. What did we get? We got avocados, carrots, grapes, romaine, and then the diffuser and stuff. So I'll write gross for groceries. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 25, and allowance was 19.99, and then this one I still owe myself, we'll call this plus $4.99. So I remember that I still have to put $5 into my grocery budget from this. Okay, so we're done with this one. Now we're on to Safeway. Okay, Safeway. Brown sugar, tortilla chips, chocolate, eggs, and lunch meat. All of this stuff was all groceries. Brown sugar, tortilla chips, chocolate chips, eggs, lunch meat. Yep. So all of this was groceries. So I don't, if it's something besides groceries, is when I'll write down groceries versus allowance versus personal. But if it's just groceries, especially Safeway is the primary grocery store that I shop at, I don't worry about that. So the total was $28.96. Okay, so there we go. I've entered all of my receipts, and then what I do is I put them here in the back of my book. So sometimes they require a little bit of folding to get them in there. I've got other receipts in there already. I just tuck them in there. Make you shorter, make you shorter. I also, on my fuel receipts, I write down my mileage. That way I can keep track of if my fuel mileage changes in my car, I know that something's going wrong. Maybe I'm just super nerdy that way. You can tell a lot about your car on whether or not your fuel mileage is staying the same. Anyway, so then I put my receipts back here, and they are dealt with. Then there's another step that I do after this. Yeah, I might as well do that. Okay, I'm gonna pause it and I'll go get that other thing. Okay, so I've got this accordion folder. When I have time, when I'm interested in doing it, I really need to do this more often. I will separate my receipts. I don't know if you guys can see this. Food, fuel, car stuff, allowance, chiropractor. I don't do chiropractor anymore. Animal stuff. Random extras, garden stuff. Oh, I do have some gardening receipts that I need to find. Okay. From when I went and got all that bird food. Where did I put that? Oh, I remember. Okay. So what I do is I go through my receipts that I've got all stuffed back here. If they're back here, then I can give myself my allowance, which, since I did that for this Sunday, I can give myself my allowance. Yay, I'm rich. Okay, and then $5 of this needs to go back into my grocery fund. Okay, so Safeway, that is food. Grocery outlet, that was, we'll just call this one food. let's put marks on it. Allow, and then allowance. So that way I know when I'm looking at this receipt later what to do with it. Putting it into food. This one is fuel. This one's going into my fuel spot. Growler pub. That is a random extra, I suppose. You know what? I'll make that allowance. So I also need to pay my bank account back. We'll call this allowance. Okay. So put that under allowance. And then this stuff was personal, but we won't have a spot for that. Maybe I'll change chiropractor into personal. Dun dun dun, GHI. P-E-R-S. Everything is forever changing, isn't it? Anybody find that with their budgeting stuff? Okay. Let's put that there. So now I have a personal. So we'll put that in with personal. Safeways, food allowance, some medical junk, I guess, primarily food, so we'll put that into groceries. But since this is noted up here, it easy for me to sort it out. This one is for Napa, so that is I got oil, 2 quarts of oil, so I put that in my car because that's for car maintenance stuff. High school pharmacy. This is a warm mist vaporizer. So this is under personal, but I paid myself back for this under my medical because this is to help with, I was sick with that throat and chest stuff. So, paid that back, but it came out of there. Here's another fuel receipt. That goes under fuel. Harvest Market. That is, what do we have? Groceries, mushrooms, apples. All of this is all groceries, so we'll put that under food. It's probably going to be an exceptionally long. Safeway, brown rice, stock. This one, we'll call this personal. And I already paid myself for that. This one is critter. And these are personal. Baked goods? I don't even know what that is. Oh, that's gluten-free bread. Kale, watermelon. Yeah, most of this stuff is... Okay, so what I would do here is, I didn't do this when I bought it, but I would do the math and figure out how much of it was personal. So it's like food, purse, pets. This is $4.99. Right, groceries, non-edibles, nothing there. Yeah, and it wasn't any cat food. Yeah, oh, there is cat food. This is also critter. So then $4.99 be 8, 9, 4, 14, right? $14.98 for pets. Let's see. Then, yeah, I'll just do this math later because it doesn't need to be done. So then I would write down like the quantities up here, and it looks like it's primarily food, but since I've got more to do to it, I'm going to not put this one away yet. Okay, set this aside. True value. This is a key that I got stuff done. I did this out of my allowance. So this one will go into my allowance. You always need extra keys. What do we have here? Farmer SS Kirked. Mini carrots. General merchandise. Choctoba 6. What did I get? What is this? No, this is for my car. I got a cushion for my car. And then I think all this stuff was all grocery. But I'm going to put this in food anyway. Ross Dress for Less was, this was, man, I spent a lot of money. This was all, water bottle, this is hangers, North Color Smart. Oh, this is the light bulb that I got. And then these two are journals. So this is all allowance. But I brought my rainy day, and that's how I paid for it, was out of my rainy day fund. When I have extra allowance, it goes into a can, and then that's the stuff that I can spend on random things. So that's what that is. We'll call that allowance. Bimart, throat drops, mouth lozenges, that is all health stuff. So personal. I already paid myself back from my medical dental for this. Medical dental. I'll call that personal. Dollar Tree. This was all these are the declutter bins. Yeah, all this stuff is all just allowance. Allowance. Here's one for fuel. Fuel. Okay, and then another grocery store one. What did we get? We got gum and a soda pop with a deposit, and a soda pop with a deposit. I got some coffee. So this is all allowance. I don't buy soda with my groceries. That's just me. This one is There's a clip under there. Okay. Coffee, almond butter, allowance, and more ground coffee, some almond butter, almond creamer, lunch meat. That's it. Okay, so my allowance stuff was 135, so that is 2,394.05 and 2, so that is 605 allowance. And I already paid for that with my allowance. I think I put like $7 in, and then the rest is all groceries. So I'll put this in with food. So that's pretty much how I deal with my receipts on a week-to-week basis. My goal is to start then at the end of the month, which is pretty much now, pull these out section by section, add up the numbers, check them compared to what I have written in here. Let's get ourselves to October. So, you know, the personal allowance, double check these numbers. And then what I'm going to start doing is actually keeping a record of what I spend for each category as much as I can. And that will help keep me accountable of spending in the correct areas. So not dipping into my grocery fund just because my grocery fund is there. I have to pay my grocery fund back with my allowance or with medical dental money or whatever. I think that's a big way. I was looking back at, I still have to deal with this one. I was looking back at September, August. I spent $330 in grocery, and I think that what ended up happening was I shop at Safeway, and I bought you know, I bought food, and I bought stuff that was allowance stuff, and I bought stuff that was medical dental, and I bought some stuff that was for the cats. And I didn't really mark down that stuff. So I was paying for areas that wasn't groceries with my grocery money. So this is kind of how I'm going to start doing this every month. So I'll show you guys in another video, since this one's already 25-ish minutes long, how I intend on doing that, because I have everything I need for October. Might as well do it this month. I will, on the 30th, I'm going to the dentist. That is like $65 copay. I'm going to pay with that with my debit card, and then pull that money out. You guys can't even see that. Whoop, down at the bottom. See, down there. I'm gonna pull that out of my medical dental, since that's what that is. It's a dental stuff, and I don't think I'll be doing anything here, so I might as well get started on this, I guess. Yeah, so that's how I deal with my receipts. When I go shopping, I leave them in my, basically I leave them in my wallet until I'm ready to deal with them. And then once a week, when I'm ready to reconcile for the week, I go through, oh look, there's a receipt. I check my pockets. that there's a receipt. I also, I check my bank account. So I look in my bank account. Did anything come out of here that I don't have a receipt for, that I need to account for? And then I write up a piece of paper like I did with the Growler pub one. And that way I've got a piece of paper so that I can keep track of all of that stuff. So I know a lot of people, they prefer to use plastic because they can keep an accounting of the money that they're spending. They don't need to maintain the receipt. Some people can't keep on receipts. Some other ideas, if you don't want to keep your receipt in your wallet, or you roll with a more minimal wallet, you could just, I don't know if you have a purse, you could keep an envelope in your purse, and when you're done shopping, you can put your stuff into your envelope. You could, let's see. You could even have at home a catch-all basket, and when you get home, you empty your pockets. You know, you've got a random extra piece of paper that you wrote down some money that you spent. You've got a whatever other thing. You just put all that in there, and then you know that when you're ready to reconcile your week of spending, you grab this, you find your wallet, you grab your purse, you grab your envelopes, especially if you're running around with envelopes. You keep your receipts in your envelopes, I think. I don't know. I don't use envelopes necessarily, because that's why I got this purse, that I can have areas for my food, and areas for my personal money, and areas for my animal money, like my pet food money. And so that's kind of how I do mine. I think I bought this for $6 specifically for budgeting with. I don't use a wallet this big. My wallet is that big. It's kind of like a minimalist wallet, and it's only maybe that thick. It just has my state ID, my car insurance cards, my debit card, a couple other insurance, dental insurance, health insurance, VA medical insurance card, and a couple little punch cards, and I keep a 20 tucked in there. And other than that, like, my wallet doesn't have anything in it. So I had to get something bigger to be able to deal with that, because I didn't want to run around with paper envelopes just flapping around. I don't use purses. Normally, I don't use purses. So I can take this, I tuck it under my arm and go grocery shopping, or I throw it into one of my shopping bags while I go grocery shopping. Nobody even sees it, and then when I get to the checkout, I pull it out and I deal with it. Sometimes I bring a purse. Anyway, so here's an idea of how you can catch your stuff if you don't want it sitting in your wallet, especially if your wallet's like a daily use. Mine is only when I go grocery shopping. This stays home unless I plan on going grocery shopping. So there's my things that I do. I keep them, for the most part, the money that I spend, I have this with me. If I don't have that with me, you can do something like this. For me, though, I bring my receipts in and I throw them into my book. And then I was like, ooh, we're in October, throw the receipt in there and close this up. And if I don't want to write it in there at the time, it's still safe. It's not going to run away. So here we are at a 30-ish minute video, but this is how I deal with my receipts. And I know that, who was it? That was Snowflakes to Snowballs was having problems keeping her receipts wrangled, and I told her that I would record a video of how I deal with my receipts. So that's it. That's how I do it. They stay in here until I'm ready for them. On Sunday, I grab this and I check. The other part of my Sunday routine is double checking that my money is right. Do I have the right amount of money? Do I need to pay myself back from my allowance? Yeah, so that's kind of what I do. So I hope that was helpful. Probably really dry, really pretty basic. Maybe it's overly complicated. It's a way that works for my brain. My brain is everything needs to have a place. Everything needs to be systematic. If it's not systematic and doesn't have a place, it gets lost. Like, I can't set some stuff on my dresser and then set some other stuff on my table and then set some other stuff on my other table and put some things in pockets and other, like my brain can't keep track of all those places. So that's part of why I got a wallet specifically for my big envelopes, my grocery shopping. Most of my pet care I buy at the grocery store. It's mostly cat food. Well, now it's mostly cat food. My personal care is my shampoos and toothpaste and things like that. So I do that at the grocery store. Absolutely made sense to keep all of that in one spot. And then I don't have little paper envelopes running around. So, because paper envelopes suck with coins. But this one does have a coin spot in it. So if you prefer to keep your coins in it, this is one way to do it. And then you keep your monies more close to the proper balance. Me, I'm not super worried about my pluses and minuses of pennies because I find so many pennies at school. They all go into the change purse that I use to make up the change every time I buy stuff anyway. So, yep. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, ask me. I will totally maybe make a new video to answer those questions or just answer them down in the comments section. Okay. Time to eat something and drink some water. All right, bye guys.